Warpugs. We are here to learn about the dream that was Rome and why we can't stop thinking about it for more than 5 minutes. Fellas, you know what I mean. Ladies, if you're just trying to figure out why we think about Rome so much, just know it's Rome. Okay? That's the only explanation you're going to need. It's the only one I'm able to give. It is what it is. It just is what it is. Warpugs, we're going to jump into this. This is the Unbiased History of Rome, Part 3, The Roman Republic, by Dovahhatty, and the last few have been remarkably enjoyable. I can't wait for this one. Let's just jump into it.
Welcome back, plebs. I'm glad to say that we'll finally talk about the Respublica. More
Respublica.
The two great heroes of the early Republic. You know, just in case you need proof the great man history is correct.
Okay.
John Great. It was 509 BC, and a map of the world looked like this. Then we have the Mediterranean, and then Italy. At the heart of Latium, we have Rome. Now the Respublica. Okay, the Republic. The center of the civilized, and now democratic, world. The further away you got from it, the shitter you got. Should be intuitive by now. I could go on and on over how the Republic worked. It's a work of art. But here's a summary. The man voted, women, kids, immigrants, and slaves didn't. Amen. The richer you were, the stronger your vote. The cursus honorum went from quaestors, aediles, praetors, and consuls. Censors also existed, tribunes as well, and the Pontifex Maximus had the best name. Historia Civilis covers it all. Here we
Pretty much. The Pontifex Maximus, yes.
will focus not on the offices, but the enemies of the Republic. They fit into two groups. In war times, they were the barbarians, ancient enemies of civilization, rape, kill, destroy, we know them well by now. In peacetime, however, they were the plebs, Rome's lazy masses, always bitching at the patricians for the pettiest of reasons. It wasn't enough that Publius and the others had freedom from the Tarquins. Barely a decade later, they were already committing mass treason, fucking off to the Sacred Mountain and refusing to enlist for Rome's defense. To appease those traitors, the patricians began to gradually grant the plebs more and more of a political voice. It would eventually destroy the Republic, but hey, what did you expect with plebs in charge? Despite these concessions, the plebs just kept bitching for more and more, neither satisfied or grateful. A patrician named Caeso had just about enough of it. As a descendant of the Albans Tullus had brought into Rome from Alba Longa, Caeso actively participated in not letting yet another city be ruined. His actions triggered the revolt in the Capitoline Hill, which killed the consul of the year, Publicola, that is Publicola's son. Such was the regard
Publicola.
plebs held for Roman heroes. In his place, the Senate elected Caeso's father as suffect consul, Lucius Quintus Cincinnatus. I could go on forever about this man, but his story speaks for itself. As consul, Cincinnatus refused to give a single inch to the plebeian demands, ending his consulship and retiring to his small farm. The plebs, of course, refused to shut their mouths, abusing their newly acquired political powers to falsely frame Caeso with murder charges, whom exiled himself out of pure disgust. A common practice, as we'll see. And so the plebs went after his father, fining Cincinnatus for all the money he had, forcing him to live in a tiny little patch of dirt, which he did, with no complaints. Meanwhile, the barbarous Aequites tried to retake Tusculum from Rome, encircling the small consular armies sent to fight them. In such times of need, the Senate would temporarily elect dictators to solve the crisis. Elected as such, Cincinnatus accepted his duty, bore his toga, kissed his wife, went to Rome, drafted the plebs, crushed Rome's enemies, renounced the dictatorship, and went back to his farm, all in 2 weeks. Pretty based, if I might say. But
Remarkably based.
it doesn't end there. Decades later, a wannabe tyrant began bribing the plebs for supporting his claim to be king. Also a common practice, which we will definitely see more of.
Yes.
To stop him, the Senate elected Cincinnatus dictator, again, now 80 fucking years old. He accepted, bore his toga, kissed his wife, went to Rome, drafted the plebs, crushed Rome's enemies, renouncing the dictatorship and went back to his farm. But this time it took 3 weeks. He wasn't in his prime anymore. Few Roman heroes can compare to Cincinnatus in virtue, one of which happened to be born just a few decades later. With yet another pleb revolt crushed, the patricians could resume Rome's mission of spreading civilization, starting with Veii, long since a Roman enemy. To crush them once and for all, command of the Roman legions was granted to the greatest Roman general of the time, Marcus Furius Camillus. Now that's a clan name right there.
Seriously, the Romans had boss names, I'm just saying.
Leading the war effort, Camillus defeated all of Veii's allies, laying siege to the city for years, breaching it and annihilating the population. Such is the fate reserved for Rome's rivals. It's fitting, then, that the victorious Roman soldiers received their first salary that day, Veii delenda est. Rome was now the undisputed leader of Latium, having subdued the entire Latin League years back, but defeating Veii posed the question of what to do with the land and loot. Camillus refused to let the plebs take the hard-won earnings, much less allow them to infest Veii. Instead, he gifted much of the treasures and lands as tribute to the gods. A wise choice, not that religious duty was something the plebs respected, once more abusing their power to lay false charges on Camillus, forcing him into exile. In their rage, the gods sought to punish the plebs. Enter the Gauls. Easily one of the most vile barbarian hordes, topped only by one. Having destroyed all of Central Europe, they began to invade the Etruscan-held Italy, a bastion of civilization compared to them. Yeah. They raised their way down south.
The Etruscans.
Until the leader of the Senone tribe, Brennus, came in contact with Roman ambassadors. They asked him why he was destroying everything, only to accuse the Romans of doing the same. They explained that what they really did was to spread civilization, which triggered Brennus beyond belief, declaring war on them on the spot. The Senate saw this as a chance to finally teach the plebs
I love the civilization war sound.
to fight on their own. The pleb legions met with the Gauls in battle and broke in seconds, fleeing to Veii, figures. With no army on the field, the patricians could only sigh as Gaul invaded the city, killing, raping, and burning everything on sight. Sounds familiar? It's hard to say who I blame most for this. Thankfully, the core of the city held firm, being manned by the patrician soldiers who stayed behind. Still in exile, Camillus was furious when he learned of the invasion, accepting the election as dictator and raising a new army. Meanwhile, unable to fully take the city, Brennus met with the senators, demanding them to pay him to leave, so that he could have an excuse to claim victory. But when a senator pointed out that the gold balance was rigged, Brennus laughed, saying, "Why wig this?" meaning, "Gives me that." It was then that Camillus arrived, his mere presence making the Gauls shit themselves. Once explained the situation, Camillus laughed, pulling out his massive dick, breaking the scale, and telling the barbarians to fuck off back to their mud huts. Brennus couldn't hold his greed anymore, trying to take the gold and run away, only to hear behind him. No one knows exactly what happened to the Gauls that day, only that they were all gone. It was a victory, but a costly one. The plebs wished to migrate to Veii, but Camillus shunned their laziness. The gods had appointed them with a divine mission, and in Rome was where it was to be undertaken. Personally leading the reconstruction effort, Camillus ensured Rome would not share Troy's fate, becoming its second founder, and a hero forever. Alright, who's keeping tabs? I think Camillus has the new record. Stick around to see how long it lasts. But of course, the he stars in the audience already know how long it lasts. The next chapter will be all about the Latin and Samnite wars, together with the BTFOing of a certain Greek king.
Hold on. By the gods, I actually finished this video. You wouldn't believe the miracle that is my current conditions. But that's enough self-pity. Onwards the next one. I've wished to cover all the way to Pyrrhus, a glimmering example that even the geniuses among Greeks are still... That'll be for later. Together with the BTFOing of a certain... You know that point where you put credits in your first video as a joke, then put them on the next one, now feel compelled to put them on there for dramatic consistency? Me neither. Since you're wasting your time reading this anyway, I'll pin the first comment saying these videos are so fucking bad. Not the I pin negative comments.
Greek king. I might change topics, no idea really, so let me know what you think and want. Farewell plebs, and ciao ciao.
Nice. Or pugs, this is why YouTube exists. This is why YouTube exists. This is the reason YouTube exists. By far and large. I want to know more. It's a serious concept of would you like to know more? And basically all I can sit there and do is think about all the other instances of Rome that are yet to come, the Punic Wars, all that kind of stuff. I can't wait to hear how he describes Hannibal and Hamilcar. Scipio Africanus, a couple other things like that. The entire the triumvirate, the first triumvirate and the second one. War Pugs, all Dovahhatty's links are going to be in the description down below. Be sure to check him out. All my links are going to be in the description down below. My mind is blown, and I'll catch you guys next time.